What is up, Cowboys Nation? Your boy Mike Tag here with Kelly K9. We getting this thing started. I know you guys start to roll in. As you do, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe if you're new to the channel, man. We got so many new people. Kelly, we got like 250 new subscribers last week. It's amazing what some Cowboy wins, do for us content creators. And stupid me, I've been so aggravated about Miami. It just dawned on me, we're playing tomorrow, and I never even did my video. I was going to drop a video tonight, and I've been so distraught, I totally forgot.
You didn't do your hype video?
No, I totally forgot, man.
I'm going to be honest with you. The Thursday game does kind of throw me off. I ain't gonna lie. I kind of forgot, man. I kind of went through all day. Usually, like if it's like a Monday night game, like I would have woke up this morning, I'd have been like, and like. But today, the whole day went by, and I really wasn't thinking about it. I got home tonight, and I kept thinking about the podcast tonight, and I was like, oh, shit. I was like, we got the Lions tomorrow. It feels weird because we played last Thursday, and it doesn't seem like that long since we last played, though, right? It felt like that. For me, it felt like the wait, because typically it would be Sunday, so it felt like the wait. Yeah, it definitely feels like a short week. So, but hey, I'm not gonna complain. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning, pumped up, roll out of bed, ready for some football, man. It's been a good time, man. How was your Thanksgiving break?
Thanksgiving was awesome. My daughter came home, so you got one out of college, so that was kind of cool, and so I got to spend some time with her and watching. We really never even talked about it, but watching that game against the Chiefs, it was so nice to see the Cowboys, just everything coming together, and the Chiefs. I mean, you and I talked about it, man. Patrick Mahomes, you don't want to mess with him, and it was just a defense. Everything is coming together for this team. And I think you and I talked about it. I think a couple weeks ago, I'm like, hey, man, when are you going to be back in? Like, when are you buying in? Because I know you've been hard on the team. And I'm like, they made the changes. And you said they handled business Thanksgiving, and they win. Now they're on a 3-game winning streak. I'm feeling pretty damn good. And I'm feeling great. And my concern was the Lions, and we're going to get into that game. But then I'm watching the Lions play, and I'm like, they're beatable. They're beatable. They're good, but they're beatable.
Yeah. I mean, look, you can't take it in terms of where I'm at right now. I don't know if you've seen my tweets, man. I
know you're back.
They're like, what's your record the rest of the year? And I've been consistent with it. I said we running the goddamn table. Like I'm all in now. You know what I mean? I'm back. They done hook, line, and sinker. Them dudes done reeled me back in. Jerry Jones had the lasso, like not so fast. Kelly K9, get your ass back over here. So I'm all back in with the Cowboys, man. It's it's funny what a 3-game win streak can do for you, but not just a 3-game win streak. It's how you have looked in that 3-game win streak, and you rattled off wins back to back in a matter of just 4 days over both the teams that played in last year's Super Bowl. I mean, how can that not give you hope as a Cowboys fan? I know there's a lot of people out here saying, and haters from outside the Cowboys fan base are saying, look at you guys. You're doing the same thing you always do. When's the last time that the Cowboys have back-to-back wins over good-ass teams like that? It's been a while.
It's been
a damn while.
It's been a rough year. It's been a rough year.
And right now, the way this team is performing looks different. From not just from my perspective, but literally from everybody who talks about the Cowboys, including ESPN analysts and everybody else that's talking Cowboys, podcasters, all that. It looks different. So it's exciting.
All our podcasters are back. I mean, they all, they were going to give up on the Cowboys, and we're not doing Cowboy stuff no more. And lo and behold, all our guys are back, and they're feeling good and pumped up. And it's definitely brought some energy. I felt the energy. I feel the energy when we do the shows, and we're looking at the chat, and a lot of positivity, a lot of people feeling good. And so I'll ask you, Kelly. I don't think I don't know if I've ever got your opinion on it, but where are we at with Jerry? Are we do we have the fire Jerry banners? Or I mean, do we give him credit where credit is due with Quinnen Williams, with Pickens, and with some of the moves they made? And he got a lot of heat for the Parsons trade, but maybe there was a method to the madness. I don't like the timing of it. I think we talked about that, but do you kind of like say, hey, you know what? We give Jerry all the blame. At this time, we maybe got to give him a little bit of the credit.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you can't sit here and not give him credit. You know what I mean? Am I completely letting him off the hook for transgressions in the past that he has made up to this point that's literally got us to this point? No. And the reason why is because we wouldn't have to be chasing this down if trades were made a little bit earlier. We wouldn't have to be doing all of this. You know, we got to basically run the table if it wouldn't have been Jerry for earlier. So I'm still going to give him fault. He don't get no reprieve. He's not getting a pardon from me. But I will give him some credit. So, because when I blasted Jerry, and I have blasted Jerry many a times in the past several years, when I blasted him, I go in pretty hard on him. So I am going to give him some credit right now for what he's been doing, because the Quinnen Williams trade, getting Logan Wilson, those are two pretty good moves. Overshown coming back, I ain't going to credit him for that. Overshown and being Overshown. I will say that I've been pleasantly surprised with how quickly Overshown has seemingly just been right back to what he was, man. And I was thinking it's going to take him a few games, to shake off the rust. I'm thinking it's going to be a while before we see, maybe even next season before we see. This is best case scenario right now, though, right? This team's getting healthy, right time of the year. This team is coming together. They've made a trade to get Quinnen Williams, an impact player. And this team is seemingly kind of starting to put it all together. And you've got a head coach in Brian Schottenheimer that has really got this team playing for each other right now. And the vibes just feel different, man. It feels different. But the thing is, I felt like this before. I felt like this Dak's rookie season in 2016. I felt like this is different. And, time will tell if it's gonna either lift me up and this is the year that the curse ends and we make a run in the playoffs and win the Super Bowl, or am I gonna get crushed again and we do all this and it's all for naught and we just miss the playoffs altogether? Because I'm gonna be honest, missing the playoffs this year would devastate me, because I feel like that it would be a season wasted. I really do. A season wasted.
It's going to be hard. I mean, we looked at it, and the problem is with the Cowboys, because I said they needed to win 2 out of 3 these next, and I think they could win the rest of the games, but I don't know if that's going to be good enough. And I think the problem is these other teams just keep winning. And I know you're getting to that point where San Francisco and Seattle got to play, and they got to play the Rams. So you're going to have the Bears are playing the Packers, I think, twice, or they play whatever it is. All these divisional teams, they got to play each other. So they're going to start cannibalizing each other. So you're going to kind of see this, but they've banked enough wins to where, like, the 7th seed has 9 wins. And they're on a bye. So, all right, if we beat Detroit, I mean, what is that? That gives us 7 wins. We're still out of it, to where it looks like the division is probably the best option. And then you look at Philly, and Philly's reeling, and they got to play the Chargers, but you don't know if Herbert's going to play. That would be a huge loss if they don't have Herbert. And then they got to go to Buffalo, and Buffalo is a desperate team. They still got to play them during the year. So they've got a couple tough games ahead of them that if Herbert was playing, that's a tough road game, cross country. Uncle Cheech always talks about that when he's picking teams. That, all right, there's 2 losses that I think you could find, but the Cowboys would have to win out. So it's interesting to kind of see how this is going to play. I'm not going to be like, if they go lose 1 game and they miss the playoffs, I'm going to be disappointed, but I'm not going to be like totally angry. I'm going to feel pretty good at least going into next year. They've got 2 1s. They've got some draft picks. All these guys are signed. I mean, Pickens is the only one which they'll probably franchise him, but I hope they sign him. But they've set themselves up for a couple years of being cap friendly and making a run.
Yeah, no, I agree, and they've talked about it already, and I think this is probably the Jones doing their salesmanship a little bit early, but they've talked about the fact, Stephen Jones the other day, I heard him talking about the fact that he wants to keep this defensive front together, and he's talking about Osa, Kenny Clark, and Quinnen Williams, which Quinnen Williams is under contract, Osa's under contract. The only guy really that's question mark right now is going to be Kenny Clark. But listen, if he can buy in to what they're building here and see the vision, which I clearly think he can right now, because he's going to look at it like, hey, where else am I going to go that I'm playing right next to another all-pro and Quinnen Williams, and then another really good defensive tackle in Osa, where we can, they can switch this front out and keep some guys fresh. They can put, they can get very creative with the defensive front they have and all that. They're moving guys off the line. So, I think that it's very encouraging. So, yes, will I be disappointed if that was to happen? Yes. But again, to kind of echo what you said, I'm definitely going to be encouraged for next year, because I think they run it back with this same crew, and I don't really see much changes. In fact, I could see us getting even better, because we're going to have 2 first-round draft picks. We may decide to either use those. We may decide to trade up in the draft to get a guy that we think is really going to change the fortunes of our franchise, or we may decide to trade for a player in the offseason before the draft. You never know. So there's a lot of things this Cowboys team can do. But I would say this, I don't see this team getting any worse for next year. I see this team getting significantly better. This team as constructed right now, if you think about it, they could go on a run and they could end up with 11 wins if they win out. That's just the facts right now. They win out, right? But think about next year. If I'm looking at this team next year, without even looking at any additions or anything like that, if they're running it back with the same core group of players, I think this is a 13-win team.
Oh, easily. I mean, look at the schedule too. And if they win out, they're going to get in the playoffs. I mean, 11 is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it'd be crazy if you win 11 games. In order not to with that tie, I mean, the next team would have to go 12 and 5, and that would be the 7th seed. That would be shocking if that were to happen. So I think the Cowboys can do it. This is gonna be the hurdle. This is gonna be the really big test. And and I said, in kind of the thumbnail, is it payback time, right? I mean, this is a team we went to the Ring of Honor ceremony with Jimmy Johnson a few years ago. He gets put in the Ring of Honor. The Cowboys win that game. It was a wild game, but the Cowboys end up winning. Lions were a little upset about it. So then they go and they absolutely destroy us with a backup quarterback and, guys out, and they run it up college style, fake plays while they're up 40, that kind of stuff. So this team should be motivated to, have some respect and have a little bit of, anger, to get some payback. There shouldn't be any issues of this team getting motivated, even outside. Hey, you got to win. This team embarrassed them. I mean, they were embarrassed. It was embarrassing last year.
It was
humiliating. So, I mean, how do you see the mindset of this team? You're not going to have, I mean, we talked about Diggs, possibly Diggs is out. Guyton, who obviously he missed that short week, he's going to be out again. You're going to have kind of that mini bye after this. I think Clowney, he's game time, but it sounds like he'll probably be able to play. Hooker was questionable, but I think when you see those guys, they'll end up probably playing. But how do you see this kind of, really shaking out from let's start with the offense. Our offense versus their defense. They're missing Arnold's on our IR, one of their best cornerbacks. I mean, they haven't been dynamic. They obviously have Hutchinson, who's a problem, but I mean, how do you see our offense matching up against their defense?
Yeah, they're banged up at the secondary position, which is not good. If you sit there and somebody tells you you're going up against a duo of CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, and then you sprinkle a little Jake Ferguson in the mix, that's a recipe for disaster. And I think we're gonna brutalize their secondary. I think George Pickens is gonna have a great game. I just think the receivers are gonna have a good game. But what I think actually here that I think that I think they'll have a good game in the pass game. Good, but I think that Javonte Williams, I think, may be the key here. And the reason I say that is because right now, when you look at this Cowboys team, they're all planning on trying to stop CD and Pickens and Ferguson, right? That's their main focus, is stopping our pass game. They forgetting the fact that we got like the 4th leading rusher in the NFL and Javonte Williams. And I mean, he's doing things, right? So if you load up to stop the pass game, here comes Williams. I think this could be a big game I think it could be a big game for Javonte Williams. I think we could see a 100+ yard game from him. Somebody asked who the first touchdown was. I said it was going to be Javonte Williams with a 40-yard touchdown run. I think they're going to be overly concerned about the pass game, and I think Brian Schottenheimer has proven himself enough to be a very smart coordinator when it comes to these kind of things. I think we're going to see a big game from Javonte Williams.
No, I mean, I think a lot of that absolutely can be an impact. Javonte and controlling the game, controlling the game.
Correct.
They've got an offense, which we're going to get into, but really controlling the game and breaking their will. I mean, when you're running the ball, and Javonte's a physical guy, but let's see what we got. I didn't even look at it. Hopefully it's not bad, but we got a super chat. Appreciate it. All in, man. I know you're all in. I love that. We're going to run the table and win the East. I love it. We'll be dangerous in the playoffs. As excited as I've been in years. The thing I'm telling you, and all in, is appreciate it. And Kelly and I have beat this drum, and we've talked about it ad nauseum. A lot of people with the Cowboys' lack of success in the playoffs, the thing that we always came back to is look at the games the Cowboys lost. They got an absolutely run on, and they couldn't run the football. Now I'm looking at this team, and you look at 3 weeks in a row, Genti, all right, he's a rookie, whatever. Then go look what they did against Barkley and go look at what they did against the Chiefs. This run defense has been absolutely solid the last 3 weeks. Now they're going to get tested, which we'll talk about when we get to the defense. They've been absolutely solid. And then we've been able to run the ball, physically been able to run the ball. So that to me is the difference of this team. If they get into the playoffs, I think that's really the difference, and why, if you're a Cowboys fan, why you say, man, it's not going to be any different. That's why it can be different. It can be different.
I think so too, man. I agree. And, one of the things I think back to too, like, and this should rewind a little bit kind of to what you were talking about when you talked about how they kind of embarrassed us last year. Man, they were busting out trick plays.
Trick plays up 40.
And up big, yes. And they came in pissed off about that game from last year. Dan Campbell kind of gave them a little bit extra motivation based off of that game that we were all at when, the Ring of Honor induction to Jimmy and, the eligible, not eligible, which I think that they just cried way too hard.
I heard them call it. They never called that guy eligible. I heard
never.
it.
We all heard it. We all heard who they called eligible, said it over the loudspeaker, and then the other guy caught the ball. So I'm just saying, last year what they did, I thought was disrespectful. I thought it was openly disrespectful. They're up 40 points and they're still slinging the rock. They're throwing trick plays. I thought it got ridiculous. So I hope this year them tables are flipped, and I hope Schottenheimer is showing them the tape from last year and reminding them what this Detroit Lions team came in and did to them. And, hey, now we can return the favor. Let's go to their house. Let's go to Ford Field. Let's beat these Lions down, take a piss on the 50-yard line on our way out. Let's get them.
You got to do – I think they should do what Bill Belichick – not Brian Billick did with the Ravens back in the day with Ray Lewis and them. Remember, I don't know if you remember, one time they went on the field and they pissed on the field, marked their territory. They marked their territory like that, a dominant dog is going to do. Marking their territory. This is our field. I think the Cowboys need to do something like that. I'm hoping I think it's going to be chippy.
I think so too.
Interesting. We're going to get, when we get to the defenses, I will talk about the Lions offense, but I think the Cowboys match up very well, our offense versus their defense. I know the Lions have been solid, but I just think that Pickens and CD are a problem. And anyone who kind of gave up on CD or was like, CD showed you Thursday why he's a legit number one and why he's one of the best receivers in the NFL. I mean, he had his hiccup versus Philly.
He did.
That game. He owned it, but you see the impact that he has. And don't minimize the impact that CD has on George Pickens, because you've got to pick your poison. And if they want to attack CD, then Pickens makes them pay for it, and vice versa. You're getting teams that are trying to stop Pickens, and then CD Lamb is going to eat or Ferguson's going to eat. So, I think the impact that they've had on our offense, and Malik Davis, give him some flowers too. Malik Davis and what he did in those opportunities. I talked about it Monday. What really excites me too about this team, Kelly, is you're seeing the Malik Davises, right? You're seeing the you're seeing the notch below. And I'd even throw Sam Williams in there because Sam Williams is by far not a superstar, but you're getting those blue collar, the Clark on special teams, Elijah Clark. You're getting those guys that are elevating their game. Look what Osa, and Osa's obviously a main guy, but look what he's done since he's had Quinnen Williams alongside him, the impact that he's had on the defensive line.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, all in all, man, it's just, I think that this can be a statement game for the Cowboys. Somebody just said in the chat that we haven't had a decent road win against a good team. And they're right. We haven't. We haven't played great on the road. No. This will be the first true road test since we acquired Quinnen Williams. Both of those wins that we had since we got him were home. The offense looked a little bit shaky. That last road loss was against Arizona on the road. Offense looked shitty. Defense looked shitty. But I agree. They look different with Quinnen Williams. They look like some dogs out there. And you've got CeeDee Lamb and he's feeding off. And I know what you said about CeeDee Lamb, how he kind of had that bounce back game. I know you saw the video of me with my little cousin, the Eagles fan.
Yeah.
And so I'll tell you what I agreed with him, because initially it was just a bet and there was only a deal for him that he didn't believe. But then they were like, well, Kelly should do something though if he loses. And I was trying to hustle my cousin, you know what I mean? He's like 10 years old. So I try to hustle him. He's an Eagles fan. But I told him, and they said, so if I would have lost this bet, and I'll tell you what the bet was, but if I would have lost, I was going to have to go onto my social media account and say, Cowboys suck, go Birds, and post it. But what the bet,
you wouldn't have done that, would you?
Listen, what the bet was and how confident I was with the bet, I told him, because he's told me, he's young. He said, CeeDee Lamb is washed. I said, calm down. I can't. I said, cousin, I know you're new into football. You're real excited. You seen the Super Bowl last year. You got your T-shirt on and all that, and you're really excited. CeeDee Lamb, I said, today he gonna bounce back. He's gonna get over 100 yards and a touchdown. We shook on the bet. CD, and then when CD got over the 100 yards, he had already had the touchdown. I looked at him and told him, I said, what did I tell you? And his face got all red, but he held to the bet. I don't know if I would have held to the bet. I might have had to run away. The stakes were high.
We got another super chat from All In. I'm going to jump on it. But years ago, we had a great guy. Sneaky was on our show.
I remember him.
And he invited me to his show, and I went on his show, and I had no idea. And I was supposed to say "Go Giants" like at the end or something like that. And I said, "Yeah, I can't be on your show." I said, "I'm not doing." He goes, "Well, if you don't do it, you can't be on." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm not doing it because I know exactly what you're going to do. You're going to clip that son of a bitch, and you're going to be posted every time I do a video. You're going to clip that, and you're going to say, 'Yeah, this is your Cowboys fan.'" And I said, "There is no way in hell that those words would ever come out of my mouth on anything like that." So on a Giants podcast, but yeah. So hey, we got to what All In is feeling very generous, and I would say this, and definitely appreciate it. I retweeted something about as my kids get older, we don't really, have Christmas presents to buy the kids. So I'm trying to get more involved in trying to help some young kids. And the one that struck me was Jesse Holley. You guys know Jesse Holley, played with the Cowboys, but he's on social media a lot. And he's doing a charity drive. He's done it for a couple years where it's helping kids and helping kids have a good Christmas. And I put it out there to the people. I said, hey, if all my followers would just put $5, that would be over $10,000 you'd raise. And I know a lot of people were donating and definitely appreciate it. So just want to put that out there to all you guys. $5. If everyone gave $5, it would be such a huge difference. You can find Jesse Holley. I retweeted it. If you go on my social media, you'll find it, but definitely wanted to add that. But I will not turn down All In for helping out the channel and helping your boys out with the expense. A little, something for the effort. I appreciate it.
A little bit of liquor for the cup.
We got a tailgate party we got to get ready for next
season.
Yeah,
we already geared up for that next year.
We plan early, but per PFF, the last 3 weeks, the number 2 defensive line unit in the league is the Browns with an 80 grade. Absolutely. The number 1 defensive line unit is the Cowboys at 89. They're number 2. That's why I believe the defense is different. All In, cannot agree anymore with you. And the defense has been the difference. So let's flip the script, and really what it's going to come down to, Kelly, is can we stop? Don't don't get crazy on me. You don't get too relaxed. I see it. Don't get too relaxed. Now, can we stop this running game, in particular Gibbs? Gibbs is, and I know we always get a couple Philly people in here. Gibbs is the best running back in the NFL right now. There's not even close. He's a home run anytime he touches the ball. And you got Montgomery, who's very physical. This is a tough running. This is going to be the test of our run defense. And I'm like, if we can hold their running game under 125 yards, that's a win for the Cowboys. But really, how do you guys see this defense containing this running back duo?
Look, it's going to be the biggest test that they've had to date. These two running backs are elite, both of them. They really complement each other well. Like you said, I couldn't agree more. I think Gibbs is the best running back in football right now. I'd say him, and then I'd probably go Bijan Robinson next. Bijan's probably right there behind him. But yeah, no, it's going to be a tough test because listen, right now, I don't know. I haven't seen the injury report. I'm not sure. Is Amon St. Brown? Is he playing? St. Brown?
St. Brown is questionable. I think he's got an ankle. He may try and give it a go, but I don't think he's going to be able to. But
so that's the thing is if he's injured and he can't go, or even if he can go and he's not fully himself, the Lions are kind of one-dimensional. Really, the only thing they have right now is Jameis Williams, and he's been very inconsistent. So I think it turns them into a one-dimensional team. So if you're the Cowboys, what are you looking to do? If you're the Cowboys defensive coordinator, you're Eberflus right now, you're loading up to stop the run. You're going to try to make them one-dimensional. Load up to stop the run, blitz on passing downs, put pressure with your front four, and get to Goff, have him make some mistakes. I mean, and just, and be aggressive on offense, and then the defense can pin their ears back. So I think we're going to have success against their run game. And I think that it'll, like I said, because of the fact that I think Detroit has become, unfortunately for them, a little bit one-dimensional with some of the injuries they got, I think that's an advantage to Dallas.
Yeah.
And I thought we had a couple more super chats up there.
We did. You want to handle those? Can you see it?
I am trying to get up there. Here. All right. I got one right here. It was just a $19.99 deal. It was for a donation to the chat. Or to the funds here, and then the other one said, we already read that one. So we had one for $19, and that was for Garland. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much, Garland.
We saw him at the tailgate party. I know
we did. So he's already gearing up and kind of kicking in for the tailgate for next year. Yeah, appreciate that, Garland. But yeah, no, so
lunatic.
Yes.
It's Cowboys Revenge Tour, Dallas 33, Detroit 24. We are going to get into predictions. I do like that. I think I love that Revenge Tour, thought is you got Philly and I don't know if you watch Hard Knocks in season. If you watched that, Kelly, I don't know if you watched it last night.
So I did not get to watch it yet. I will, unlike the Cowboys documentary that came out on Netflix.
I was going to say, are you going to watch that? You're going to watch it.
I still ain't watched it. I might watch it. I might in the off season. I might in the off season. I ain't watched it yet, but the Cowboys Hard Knocks, I definitely will watch. I love Hard Knocks. I
watched it, and it was so cool because it started with Philly Dallas, the game, and they're up 21, and they, you're kind of the build up, and then it went through and you kind of, it intertwines and it ends up coming back to that. And I give Hard Knocks a lot of credit. It went all the way up until the Monday night game with the Giants. I mean, that was the day before. So they definitely did some editing on the fly for that game, but they showed the Dallas and Kansas City. And I know you guys saw everyone loves when they do the mic'd up after a Cowboys win.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me, it's just the vibe, man. It's the vibe. It just feels so different. And with Shoddy, I love passionate coaches. And I just think I like seeing coaches get excited on the sidelines when good things happen. I like them cheering with their players. I know, and hey, there's a style for everyone. Belichick, he didn't have that style. Parcells, Jimmy Johnson did, but I just love that with Shoddy, and just listen to the post game. You get a lot of that within Hard Knocks, but also with Mic'd Up. I mean, how you think about him, man? Shoddy. He has just grown and grown.
Yeah, I love him.
Honest. And I mean, again, got to give Jerry credit. I mean, we said blow it all up, get rid of everyone, but that was a pretty good hire so far by him.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, did Shoddy prove us all wrong? Yeah. I fucking love it. I love the passion. I love everything that I'm seeing from Schottenheimer. I mean, because the thing is that I feel like and yes, there are disciplinary coaches and there are coaches. I mean,
I don't want to interrupt you, but that is got to be a new rule for us, I think.
What's that?
Did you read it? Can you read it, or you need me to read it for you?
Oh, keep the shine away from Landry. Yeah, we don't need nobody going out on the ambulance again. We don't need nobody going out on the ambulance again.
Go ahead. Sorry, I was too.
No, I just think that I just think with Schottenheimer, I think that there are some coaches right now that are kind of like, your disciplinary coach. I think Sean Payton is a good example of one of the kind of hard-nosed old school coaches. But I think a lot of the new age coaches that you're seeing now are guys that really can relate to players. Pete Carroll is one of those guys that had his success there in the NFL that kind of, he was like that and still is like that. You know what I mean? Really kind of goes out there and, fist bumping with the guys and dancing. You get a lot of guys there's a lot of coaches out there right now that really are doing that. And you got to kind of be able to relate to your players and be able to be excited for them. And because I think your players feed off that, man. And I think you make a great play and you got your coach just kind of stonewalled there, just kind of, no, I want to see you fist pumping, man. This is a passionate game. It's full of passion. I want you fist pumping. I want you high fiving, ass slapping, jumping in the air and doing all the shit. I want all that, man, from my head coach and from my coaches, period. Because when that energy and that just like you said, that vibe, when that is on the sideline, to me, I think that's contagious. How could you not be pumped up? I'm sitting on my goddamn couch ready to go through a brick wall, and I'm seeing Shotty get pumped up, and I'm like pumping him up. I'm like, let's go, And I'm not just a fan. I'm not a player. But, like, if you put me on the damn field with them, I would want to run through a brick wall for a guy like that. So, like you said, it's the vibe. It just feels different. And Schottenheimer has to get a lot of credit for that. You know what I mean? Because, and I admitted on Twitter, this week, I said, listen, I owe him an apology. I think he should be in running for Coach of the Year. And I said, I owe him an apology because when they first hired him, I was furious. I was livid, thought it was a bad hire. I thought that it was just Jerry being Jerry. He wanted a puppet master. And man, as early as training camp, I started hearing some of the things he was saying, and he started to turn me. And I thought, man, you know what I mean? And even if the Cowboys would have went on to finish the season out and had zero shot at the playoffs and finished off with a terrible season, I wouldn't have blamed Schottenheimer because it's not his fault that the defense is complete absolute ass, right? So I don't know, man. I just think that he's great for this team. He's great for this locker room. He's great for the culture. That's the buzzword, culture, right? I think he's got us on the right track regardless of how this season finishes out. I'm 150% on the Schottenheimer bandwagon.
I 1000% agree. It's got a tough argument with Vrabel. Now, Vrabel's done a good job. I mean, unfortunately, Vrabel, New England, could we have gotten their schedule? I mean, Jesus. I mean, you got to win, so I'm not hating on them, but their record of the teams they beat are like 32-90. It's some like weird number. But the thing about Shotty that I want him to do, Marty Schottenheimer, his dad, I enjoyed him as a coach. He had like the best lines. He'd be telling you, refuse to be blocked. He'd go up to his lineman and yelling at him. And there was just the one thing. It was like either before playoff or something. He was standing there like looking stoic, and he'd just look over to his guys and goes, the gleam. Look at the gleam. And he kept saying it. So I need Shotty to do that one time. The gleam, ladies and gentlemen. You got to look at that gleam.
Look at the gleam.
But I love what he brings. And the more I hear him talk, it's just everything seems right about him. And it's a guy that you root for. It's a guy that you want to be successful. It's not like Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin's a guy that people just – he's got that personality that people just don't like. I mean, that's just kind of
not only that people don't like. He's fucking burned a lot of bridges too. He's He's kind of a douchebag. That move that he pulled with Ole Miss was janky. That's terrible, man. I thought that was about. I hate. I was not to get too far off track or anything. I absolutely hate that you can do that and you can make those kind of moves and those hires while the season is still going on. I think that is absolutely, absolutely horrible. The NFL has a rule where you can't talk to their coaches without asking for permission. And if they would have asked Ole Miss would have said absolutely not. You can wait till the goddamn season's over because you think about it now. It's just, I don't know. It's just crazy to me that he was able to do that. And if I'm an Ole Miss fan, I hate that dude forever. If I'm a Ole Miss player that got recruited by him, I'm hating him forever. I think he's a snake and a douchebag. I think it's just it's a terrible move.
It is, and the thing I would say on the college, and I don't want to get too deep in college because Kelly saw I'm still a very bitter person. They should have a rule, 100%. You should not be able to make any conversations, any changes till after the season. The reason that they do this now is because the transfer portal, because of recruiting, because of all this. And my feeling on it is, then you got to sacrifice that season probably if you want that guy. But to do that to the kids, and what I'm saying with the kids, it's I don't have pity for the next year because the kids transfer now. There's no penalty, but you've built up something, and you've got an opportunity in the playoffs, and you just totally destroy it for those kids and for that university and everything it means to the alumni and the fans and everything that go with Ole Miss. Because let's just be honest, Ole Miss probably not going to be back there anytime soon. I mean, that's lightning in a bottle for them. They're not a perennial, powerhouse team year in and year out. So it really ruined that opportunity for them. And that's the part that's kind of disappointing about, the whole thing. And, he could stay there and coach. I mean, really, just let's put it in perspective. If the Cowboys went to the playoffs and Schottenheimer said, you know what, I'm going to go take the job with San Francisco, but I'm going to coach through the playoffs. Do you honestly think that anybody, you want the enemy? Do you let the wolf in the hen house for a month? You know what I mean? They had no choice. They had no choice.
And that's what I'm saying. I fully understand why Ole Miss told him once he said he wanted to finish out the season. They said, "Nah, you can get to stepping." I mean, it's no different than if I was to tell my employer tomorrow, I'll be like, "Hey, I'm giving my 2-week notice. I'm going to work for our direct competitor." Right? If I'm going to work for the guy, they're going to be like, "Get the fuck out."
Yeah.
Get out. Like, go. We don't need you 2 weeks, man. Go. I mean, that's what any employer would do. And so I don't blame Ole Miss for doing it. I just hate that. I hate it. And I know players can bounce around. I saw SoCal talk about the players that can bounce around.
It's the timing of it. That's it.
Yeah, I understand that. And I have no issues with that. It's not an issue about that. I don't think coaches leave. It's definitely timing. It's the time of the fact that they're gearing up for a college football playoff run. And you've got this going on. It's a huge distraction, and it could very well prevent them from, I don't know if they could win it or if they could have won it. Maybe they still do win it. I don't know. But I'm just saying it's bad timing for that university, for those players that are preparing to try to win a championship. I just think it's a bum deal.
Yeah. I guess SoCal, you got to clean out them ears. No one is saying LSU. LSU is 100% better job than Ole Miss. The timing. Yeah. No one has a problem with them.
Yeah, no
one cares. No. You can leave. I mean, all these coaches do. It's the timing of it that they allow that to happen. It's just, it's not cool, man. It's just, it's not cool. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, there's a lot of college football. Let's touch a little bit more because I know Texas Tech. Very excited. I mean, this has been kind of what you talked about. Some people called you stupid. Some people call you foolish. And you said undefeated. They had one speed bump, which I think in college football, it is so hard to go undefeated. These are, at the end of the day, these are 17 to 21, 22-year-old kids. You're going to have bumps in the road, but they recovered from it. They're in the Big 12. They're going to take on BYU again. I mean, all signs point that it should be. Never take any team lightly, but you guys manhandled them last time. I really don't know how it could be any different, which would pretty much lock you guys in a top 4 seed, first round bye, which is, I know you wanted that home game, but you might thank them later because you got just one game to get to the championship. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on your Tech? I want to give you a chance to get your flowers.
Yeah, well, first of all, I appreciate that, but I did say we was going to go undefeated. I was a little bit wrong on that. I think we could have if we would have had Baron Morton, our starting quarterback, that one game we lost. But injuries are part of it. You got to be ready to go. You got to play who you play. Then at the end, our defense had a chance to close that game out and was not unable to. They were unable to do that. So that being said, I'm ready. I'm ready for this team to be tested because now what it is, everything switched. Because before the season started, man, everybody, and there's actually somebody that's in this chat right now that we brought on live to talk about it. Well, they know names, you know who you are, but there's a lot of people that I talked to that was on Twitter that talked to, and the whole thing was Texas Tech never won the Big 12 championship. That's what they're about to do on Saturday. They actually won. They've already won the regular season of the Big 12. This is the championship game, right? So whatever. But they'll win the Big 12, right? Texas Tech never won the Big 12. Guess what? Check that off. Texas Tech ain't never been to no BCS bowl game, never been to a playoff game. Wrong. Texas Tech is now in the playoffs, right? Now the goalposts have begun to shift even more, and I don't give a shit. They can say whatever they want. Nobody's going to be able to take this season away from me. I think it was a great season. I think it will end up as a very great season. And ultimately, my eyes are bigger picture. Yes, I want to win it all this year, but I'm looking at this team. They are set up to win for the foreseeable future. I mean, if you haven't seen it and somebody that's bought in, Pat McAfee, go watch on Pat McAfee, man. He's all in on Texas Tech. He's like, look, I see what these guys are building. They've got some of the best facilities in the entire in the nation, and coaching. Joey McGuire's the real deal, but Texas Tech just got the one loss. Now they're going in. They got the bye week, and we'll find out who we play. But I mean, I'm bullish on this team, man. We've got, there's a lot of people talking about David Bailey and mocking him to the Cowboys. I see Barbecue Cooking out here, Jeff. He said Bailey to the Cowboys, and he is a legit pass rusher. He's led the NCAA in sacks the last 2 years in a row. He did it last year with Stanford. He's doing it this year with Texas Tech. That dude has got some get off, man. My only thing is, with how great he's been playing and with the exposure later in the season as Texas Tech, people really started to start paying attention to him. I'm wondering if he'll get to us depending on where we pick, because I think David Bailey's draft stock will continue to improve as he gets into the college football playoffs and people see this dude live. Because now what everybody's saying, like I said, when they're moving the goalposts, everybody's saying, y'all ain't played nobody. The Big 12's weak. Even despite the fact that we've got wins over 3 ranked opponents, despite that, the Big 12's weak, but we've destroyed every single person we played. All 10 wins have been by 22 plus points.
Yeah.
I mean, so what are you supposed to do? If you were a great team, if you were a team from the SEC, or if you're a team from the Big 10 that you think is so great and they came into the Big 12, what would you expect them to do? Blow everybody out. And that's what Texas Tech has done. Blow everybody out. Our last regular season game, West Virginia on the road, 49-0. Well, I mean, these people still don't believe in Texas Tech? Well, you're about to find out. You're about to find out. I promise you. Mark my words, you will find out.
Your defense is there. The offense, when you're going up against some of the teams in the playoffs, that's going to be what I really want to see, how your offense kind of handles some of those defenses.
Offense will be the biggest question mark.
You're going against, Ohio State, things like that. But your defense I would put them right at the top. And we all know defenses typically will win the championship. So I think they got a great opportunity, and you get in there and let's see what happens. And I mean, let's just be honest. Who the hell has Ohio State played? I mean, let's just be real. Who is Indiana? Who has Indiana really played? I mean, they haven't. All these teams tout that we got this tough schedule and this and that. I mean, who have they played? I mean, Alabama, I'll give you some credit. Alabama has some big wins and they played some tough teams. You give them credit. You give, Notre Dame. Everyone touts. Who has Notre Dame played? They played Miami, and they played Texas A&M, and they got beat by both. They played nothing outside of that.
Yeah.
Nothing. Their biggest wins is what? Pitt and Southern Cal. I mean, that's the thing. It's so all that thing about all that bullshit of schedule. It's just excuses. It's just excuses, and that's what I hate about this college football and the way that they run these playoffs. It needs to be settled. You settle it on the field. You settle it. You got 2 teams with the same record. I mean, they're right next to each other. Who beat who? I mean, at the end of the day, and then the funniest is they make themselves look stupid because they want Texas in bad. They want Texas in bad.
I know
want
they do.
And so their reasoning is said, well, Texas played Ohio State and they gave them the toughest game that they played. When was that? Week 1. But then they say, well, Miami beat Notre Dame. It was week 1. That, does it mean something? So it means something for Texas to lose in week 1, but it doesn't mean, it's just bullshit. So that's the problem with college football. Yeah, it's about money. And they want Notre Dame in. They want Texas in. You saw them move Alabama. Alabama's in no matter what. They moved BYU down where it's going to get interesting. And this is where I need your help, Kelly. If you can help a brother out, I need you guys to annihilate them because then BYU is going to drop below Miami. And Miami and Notre Dame are going to be sitting right next to each other. Neither one of them played this week, right? They're going to be sitting next to each other. 2 losses apiece. Miami has better wins against common opponents. Miami beat them head up. And see what happened was the college football – they thought Miami was just going to go away. They lose a controversial game to SMU, some bad calls. All right, they're just going to kind of fade away. And then Miami blows out every team after. Every team. And they said, well, let's see what they do against Pitt because Notre Dame, they beat Pitt 45-17. Miami beats them 49-7 or whatever the hell it was. And so they didn't want that. So they've been using that excuse. But if they're right next to each other, let them put Notre Dame in, and that whole thing is going to blow up because why schedule? Why do you schedule any games? Don't schedule. If I'm Texas Tech, I'm just going to schedule Big 12 games because that's all they seem to care about, right?
Yeah,
playing against beating teams and that are in the top don't matter. That's what they're basically saying. And Texas is going to say, well, we beat this team and that team and that team. But you got throttled by Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't close. They got throttled by Florida. Florida owned them. And they had to go to overtime against a miracle comeback. So that's where I think Texas, unfortunately, lose some of their argument. If Miami had 3 losses, there's no argument. And like I said, if SMU had 2 losses, I would give SMU the edge. I wouldn't argue.
And that's the thing. Okay. That's the thing for me is that, because I get where, the Texas fans are like, well, why should we schedule these tougher teams if we're not going to get any love for well, don't lose to the tougher teams. You were the number 1 overall ranked team to start this season. There was people talking about y'all that's going to win the national championship. Don't lose to Ohio State. I know Ohio State's been number 1 pretty much throughout the entire year since then. I understand that. But don't lose to a 3-win Florida team. Don't lose 3 games. Don't get your ass spanked by Georgia. Georgia ran you off the goddamn field, and you really think you belong? Yeah. You think you belong? You think if Georgia played y'all again next week in the college football playoffs, you wouldn't get your ass whooped again by Georgia? You don't belong. It's been proven on the field you don't belong. Get the fuck out of here, man. I'm just relishing the fact. Look, I know there's a lot of Longhorns fans in here, and I know there's a lot of Longhorn fans that follow me, and I know that they hate that I hate them so goddamn much, but I hate them sons of bitches. So I love that they're going to be sitting on the couch watching Texas Tech in the college football playoffs. And you know what? I don't care if you root for Texas Tech or if you don't root for Texas Tech. I will never root for the Texas Longhorns. Never. But don't lose to a 3-win Florida team. You ain't got no goddamn argument if you lost to goddamn Florida. None. Yeah. I don't care that Florida's an SEC team.
And just because I know people say, oh, Miami crybaby, here we go. Let's just put everything in perspective. I blame the ACC. I don't necessarily, because ACC is the problem. ACC, Virginia has 2 conference losses. But because they had to reschedule a team, they didn't count one of their losses. So that's problem number 1. Problem number 2 is you had a 4-team tie with 2 losses. Miami, it was Duke, it was maybe Georgia Tech and someone else. So their tiebreaker, this is their tiebreaker. The record against the ACC teams you played. And Duke had 2 extra wins. They're the teams that they played. Now, they had bad losses. I mean, again, Miami's losses were a game-winning field goal against Louisville when they played their worst game of the year, 4 interceptions, and it took the last kick to beat them. and then a very controversial game at SMU where there was no pass interference on a game that would have ended it. They blew the whistle. No one heard it. The offensive line reacted. The defense ran on the quarterback and just hugged him. They didn't hit him. They stopped, and they called a 15-yard penalty, which gave them a field goal to put it in overtime. So it was all this bullshit that happened. And so it's not like Miami got embarrassed by anybody. It was really bad, some bad games. But instead of them putting the highest ranked team in the ACC, if you have this 4-way tie, use that as a tiebreaker. They had that BS rule. And so now you have a 7-5 Duke team, which if Duke beats Virginia, there's got to be ACC. They're not going to have any representation of a champion because they could bypass them. They could put in 2 shitty ass teams like Tulane, and they could even put in like USF.
Tulane's going to be terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Definitely put Miami in because that Tulane is just no. Tulane would get blown out. They showed Vegas predictions from when Tech was at the 5 seed, I think, and it was Tech and Tulane, and Vegas put out a prediction 28-point favorites for Tech.
Yeah,
it'd be 28-point favorites or underdogs against whoever they play, man.
Yeah, and I would just tell you this, RPE. Vegas has Virginia as a favorite, 2.5 points. 2.5 points. So don't think that Duke is just don't think Virginia's that good and it's going to be an easy win. I don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know, but because I was going to put money on Virginia, and then I saw the line. I'm like, 2.5 points. That seems kind of weird, man. I said, I'm not touching that one. But the one thing, I just want to give a public service announcement. My brother won $1,600 on gambling this on sports betting. And it wasn't football, Kelly. It wasn't basketball. It wasn't hockey. He bet on table tennis. And he bet he put $20 down, and he bet a 6 parlay, and he just picked names, the favorites. He goes to forgets all about it. He gets woken up by an alert saying, hey, you got a buyout of $800 or $1,100, whatever it is. And he's like, what's this? And he looked, all his guys are winning, and the last game is going on right now. So you could watch it. You could hit the little thing, and now he's watching table tennis. And he said, Mike, he goes, it wasn't table tennis like you see in the Olympics where it's usually like the Asian where they're like bang. He said it looked like you and me, like playing table tennis. It looked like, you know what I'm saying? Like playing in a bar. And he ends up hitting it, and he won $1,600 out of so stupid me. They play all day. So I'm sitting at work, and I'm like, let me try it. And I put $20 on. I lost. And but I said, are you a degenerate or what it is? But hey, Mikey Schefter would have come. Let's not forget Virginia lost to NC State, which if they counted, we talked about that. That would have been totally different as well. We would have been in the national championship because we were ahead. If they had 2 losses, it would have been us versus Duke, which would have been
yeah.
But anyway, so that's our college. It's a great weekend. I'm telling you, between Thursday with Dallas, and we're gonna get back to that, and then the weekend of these championship games is gonna be, and then you got Sunday. It is just one of the best football. Last weekend was a great weekend with Thanksgiving, and you're rolling in, and you had a game on Friday, big college rivalry week on Saturday, and then football on Sunday. It's going to be that way again. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So going back to the Cowboys versus Lions, I said it. I am like kind of was out of it. Totally forgot to do my hype video. So I got to get up at 6 a.m. I got to get myself pumped up and get ready to go. First thing in the morning, drop the hype video, wake up the house, wake up everybody. So it'll drop game day. And I've been doing it kind of game day lately because of our schedule. We had Thanksgiving, and then we had that other. So it's been a little funky. So we'll keep the tradition alive because we're winning that way. So I don't want to jinx anything, but so we'll drop it on Monday, and hopefully the Cowboys get that win. But it's prediction time. We've been yapping, and it's prediction time. So I need to hear from you guys. Can the Cowboys win 4 in a row? Can the Cowboys win 4 in a row. They're getting love from the media, which scares me because now the media is riding the Cowboys jock, and that always makes me nervous. It always makes me nervous. 38-17. Wow. But Kelly, the Cowboys Lions, this is I think this is probably the most pivotal game left on the schedule. A lot to play for, ton to play for. We talked about them humiliating us the year before. What say you? What say you?
Today I actually called my score prediction, and I'm trying to remember what it was. It was Cowboys 33, Lions 24, I believe.
33-24.
33-24 game is what I see. So I see it being like, I don't see it being like the Cowboys just blow the brakes off them, but I see it being a Cowboys win where a convincing win. You know, that'd be a 9-point win. Right now, Cowboys are the 3-point underdog. The Vegas.
That seemed to be the common one last 3 games. Hasn't it been like 3.5 every single one?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. And so yeah, I mean, you know, road team typically or home team typically gets the point spread if you're the better team. So I don't think that'll matter.
Tweeted 33-21. So
33-21. Okay, well then I'll go.
Keeping you honest.
Okay, good. Then 33-21. I couldn't remember. It's 24-21. It's been a little while. It's been a long day. A little fuzzy. I knew it was something. I knew it was 33 Cowboys because I was thinking Dorsett.
I like it.
But yeah, no, 33-21 Cowboys. I'm sticking to what I put there on the Twitter. So there we go. 33-21. But yeah, I think that the Cowboys, I think it's a good game for them. I really do. But I think that with all the attention and with all the talk about CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, I think it's going to be one of the best days for Javonte Williams. I think he's going to have a huge day. I think I got him over. I got him going over 100 yards, not just over 100 yards. I probably got him flirting with about 150, and I think he's going for about 150 and maybe a couple touchdowns. So I'm thinking Javonte Williams is going to come out and have himself a day.
Yeah, and you know, and when you say that, I believe it, and that's what kind of solidifies my thoughts. And everyone's thinking shootout, and I'm like, I don't know. And then when I hear you or listen to them, I think they're going to be running Gibbs and Montgomery, and then you're talking about, you know, Williams running the ball. That's going to chew up a lot of clock. It's going to limit the possessions. And I had the Cowboys. I have it like a 24-21 Cowboys victory. I think it's going to be close.
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys have an advantage. A lot of people like Campbell, you know, and I love his, you know, style of coaching and this and that. They got 30-10, not even close. I hope that'd be stress-free. 7-5 against the spread. Make that 8-5 on Friday. I like that. 34-24. SoCal changed it, or did he was just copying you before? Because it was 33-21, but maybe he was copying. He was copying you. Catch him by 6. I just think the Cowboys. I think Campbell takes chances. He's been taking like stupid, like arrogant chances, and
yeah.
I think our defense. Had we had the defense the first part of the year, I would say never punt if you're the opposing team. I said I would just go for it because our defense was that bad.
Hell yeah. We couldn't stop nobody.
Our defense has really played well. And the difference with our defense, and we didn't really talk about it. I apologize. We got sidetracked as college football. The interior of our defense, the interior of our offense between the guards, center and guard, and then the D tackles, that's really where the game is won. It's won in the trenches, and we have now become a dominant football team in the trenches, which we've never been on the defensive side. Yeah, offensively, we've obviously had some Hall of Famers, and we've been dominant in the trenches there. But defense, and that's what's making the difference. If you saw when they got to Clowney, got to Mahomes, it was a lot of pressure up the middle. And I think with Goff gets a little erratic when you get pressure up in his face, like most quarterbacks. He's not anything knocking him that you know is an anomaly to him and not anyone else. So I just think the Cowboys are really gonna pressure up the gut if they can maintain the lanes and just not let Gibbs take it to the house on an 80-yard run. I mean, it just seems to be kind of the way of the world with him. If he can do that, then I think the Cowboys could even win bigger, but I'm just keeping it close because I think, like you said, it's going to be one of those run heavy games on both sides. So I got the Cowboys winning it. I think we got another
super chat from All In.
Another man all in. I
Not
appreciate it.
no shootout, not hopium. 33-16. Lions banged up. Our team's gonna want payback. I like it. 33-16. I like it.
I would love that.
I seen Stephen White with a 40-17 in the chat too. I like that too.
17.
Yeah, he said 40-17 boys payback. Now I would love a blowout. I mean, that'd be nice to have the Cowboys just demolish them. You think about that, the Cowboys just go in there and drop 40 on their heads and had a 40-17 or even 33-16 would be a convincing win. But you think if the Cowboys do that, go in and blow the Lions out in their house, the talk.
I tell you what, I gotta give, I know I give Carl some gripe, but he actually made the most sense. And he's finally starting to come around. 2 games and you're dominant. Exactly. You lose 2 games at Philly and you still think you're dominant. No, absolutely. Get out of here. You're 100% right. Philly is circling the drain, my friend. It was all over Hard Knocks, but you're finally coming around to it. So, Carl, I appreciate it. Appreciate you finally admitting that your team is tanking, admitting this 2-game losing streak. You're no longer dominant. You're kind of going to be on 3 games after Monday, circling the drain. So, Carl, I appreciate the honesty. And I haven't seen Ultra in here. I don't know if he's mad at us, but he did comment on a thing. Jimmy accidentally blocked him, and I was able to fix it. So hopefully we'll be able to welcome Ultra back to the Cowboys Cave family. He might be a little sore at us. It wasn't Kelly. It wasn't me. It was Jimmy.
Yeah, it was Jimmy Ultra. If you see this, I didn't do it. I ain't blocked anybody in a long time.
Yeah, I don't want any issues. But again, great predictions. I love it, and it just feels good. I mean, it just feels good playing meaningful football in December when in October, I think we all said that, the season was over and we all wanted to cry.
And you know what? And here's the thing is that if you've got a franchise quarterback and if you've got some playmakers on your offense, right? Because you do need that to succeed. You can't just have the things. But where do you think about this? And it's been proven time and time again. Where do you need to be solidified at? It's in the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
That is if you're a GM of any football, the trenches. Texas Tech, strong in the trenches this year. Look where they're at, right? Ohio State, strong in the trenches. Look where they're at. That's college. Go to the NFL. Dallas, turning it around right now. They're strong in the trenches. Strong offensive line, strong defensive line. Boom. Eagles last year when they won, one of the best offensive lines, best D lines. Rams when they won, great offensive line, great defensive line. Aaron Donald and them boys tearing it up, right? You see it every single year. The Chiefs, why'd they fall off? They fell off because their offensive line started to go downhill. They fell off because their defensive line started to go downhill. Not what it was. If you can solidify the trenches, you will win, and you will win championships.
Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys have started to do that. They've got a young nucleus on that offensive line. They've got a younger, I'd say still, not super young, but younger defensive line. They're built in the trenches. This team is built to win, and it's got me excited because you're solid in the trenches, you can win a title. And I'm saying this Cowboys team is closing the gap on some of these teams that were ahead of them and that a lot of us looked at as being better than the Cowboys. I don't look at any team in the NFC. I think we can line up against any team in the NFC and beat them.
And 1,000% right, because you look at the teams, Cowboys teams typically were all finesse. And what happens when you're finesse and you go against the kind of teams that you just talked about? You get punched in the mouth and you get slapped around and you get destroyed. And that's been the Cowboys in the playoffs. That's been their Achilles heel. It's changed. Now, they put themselves in a bad position because they really got to get they got minimal room for error. But if they get in the playoffs, they're a team that ain't nobody going to want to play the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs. There's no way. There's no way.
No, you don't want to.
Don't remind me of that, Eric. That still gives me nightmares. And the part that pisses me off the most is I was so upset. I canceled my hotel, sold everything. And now I want to go to that Minnesota game so bad. I totally botched it. And that's when my pride and, You know, I just get so upset when the Cowboys play bad. I got mad, and I let my emotions get the best of me, and I won't do that again. So I'm sorry. And I apologize for selling my tickets, Kelly. I know you gave the season ticket holders some flack, and it's just unfortunate that
Listen,
you know,
I understand why you did it. And I also said that. I said, I got to also give some reprieve to some people that sold their tickets. That obviously, when you sell your tickets, the Cowboys weren't doing very well. Monday night debacle, that had a lot to do with it. I'm just saying, it's like me personally, like I wish, and because I don't know how it works with NFL. I've never been a season ticket holder, so maybe you can just kind of, but when I was a season ticket holder with Tech, if I wanted to sell my tickets, I just sold them I put them out there and sold them they weren't on a website. I sold them. And I just always was like, all right, they're going to a Tech fan regardless. Like even when I sold them for higher price, I knew who I was selling them to. If they weren't a Tech fan, they weren't getting my tickets. I don't know if you could do that for the Cowboys. I don't know how that works with the Cowboys. So I did admit that I don't know how all that works. So, give people a reprieve. I understand why it happened.
The problem with it now is everything's electric, right? So it's all electronic. So you've got to send your tickets to them. So let's say you sell it private. Let's say you and we don't know each other, and you say, and I put, hey, I got tickets. So you said, all right, you never met me. I'd never met you. Are you going to send me $2,000 and say, hey, I'm going to send you the $2,000 and then send me the tickets? Or am I going to say, I'm going to send you the tickets and then you're going to send me the $2,000? They've made things, so difficult to sell. So you got to go to these brokers. So when you go to the brokers, you're paying fees and they're paying fees, but then they're going out there. So you don't know who you're selling to.
Yeah, I got you.
More often than not, you're probably selling. And and Dallas is a destination stadium. I mean, it's the way it is, and it's the way it's always going to be. And go to Carolina, and Doug will attest. And we go to the Carolina game, it is 75% Dallas fans, and those tickets sell for a premium. Those season ticket holders pay for their season tickets by the Cowboys because the other games they can't go to, those tickets sell for $5. Week before the Cowboys game, the tickets were $5, and then they end up going for $250, $300 for that. So it is unfortunate. I would much rather sell, and that's what I try and do. Like most of my games before the season, I sold to friends, and I would say, hey, all I ask for is just pay me what I paid. I'm not asking for markup. I'm not asking for any of that. But then what happened was I was thinking of the Chiefs. I saved the tickets, and that's what happened. When you save the tickets, now it's kind of like, all right, I have no one to sell them to. I got to put them online, and I know I can make, I'll be honest, I sold them for $2,000, man. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. When you're paying the seat license and everything else, I mean, it's like you got to – that's like 2 games. So
yeah, no, that's I don't blame nobody for like I said, when you did that after the Arizona thing, I even said it too. I said I wouldn't step back foot in that stadium if you paid me. And now, you know what I mean? Now it's a little bit different. Now I probably would step back in that stadium. I'd probably run to that fucking stadium if you paid, but wouldn't even have to pay me.
I know,
but no, I get it. It's just
they price the fans out too, Kelly.
Well, they do. Like, they do, and they make
game day tickets. Like you can go, hey, I want to buy that game. I want to go. No, you're pretty much beholden to season ticket holders own all the tickets, so you have no way to go to the games. That's the shitty part about it. They price the average fans out of the games.
Yeah, they do, and it's sad too to see when they do that too. I hate it when the stadium gets overrun by visitors. And there was a ton of red in there on Thanksgiving Day. But again,
you could hear it. You could hear
it. Oh
yeah.
I heard. I had a lot of people mention that how loud it was and that it was.
We shut them up though, right?
But we did at the end of the game. Yeah, at the end of the game, they weren't saying nothing. So, yeah.
So anyway, it's going to be great. You guys enjoy the game. We'll drop the videos will be dropped, win, lose, or draw. We're going to get you guys hyped up, get you guys ready. And then after the game, I'm sure you're going to get hyped up even more after that victory. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm amped up for it. I'm excited. Thankfully, I work out of my home office on Friday, so I can be up late and enjoy everything. But it's going to be a lot of fun, man. Just get our Cowboys to win. God, just get this one game, and I just feel so strongly that I think looking at their schedule, they got this mini bye. Diggs, we really didn't even talk about, but I think Diggs comes back after the bye. He was practicing, but I think give him another week, and it's just only makes our team stronger and that's what we need to do. So, Kelly, any final words? And hit that like, subscribe, and share as you guys are rolling out. We got 300 of you guys hanging in the cave, and like our channel's been growing and growing. So spread the word. We appreciate it. We're getting close to 5,000 subscribers, so definitely appreciate the love. But Kelly, final words.
I would just say that anybody that's I'm gonna channel my inner Uncle Cheech here and say anybody that wants to make some scroll this weekend. Texas Tech's a 13.5-point favorite. Take Tech and the points. I think Tech beats BYU by 20+. Again, BYU just ain't got no answer for our physicality. So take that.
Because I was gonna put you really confident in that? Because that's a lot of points.
I'm confident, man. From what I've seen from this team, there ain't nobody in the Big 12 that's physical enough to hang in with this team. And the reason that I think it is because the last time we played them, our defensive line pushed them and bullied them around all game. They had their quarterback running for his life. He's a running quarterback. He likes to run. His dual threat. He couldn't run when he wanted to because we got Jacob Rodriguez, one of the best, if not the best linebacker in all of college football, chasing his ass down and spying him. I don't see any of that changing. Our defensive line didn't get worse. They're the same defensive line that they faced. That offensive, you can't coach physicality. And our defensive line out-physicaled, out-bullied their offensive line. I don't see that changing on Saturday. I think it's a blowout win, and I don't think it's a close win at all. I think Tech wins that one. I think they win it by 20+. So, yes, I would take Tech, and I would take the points.
Yeah, and I think
they've done it to everybody they play.
Another sea of red in AT&T, I would think.
Oh, it's going to be another home game. That's the other thing too. It's going to be a home game. I can promise. There's so many Texas Tech alums that live in Dallas, in that Dallas area, Houston, all the metroplexes, and then you've got all the people from Lubbock that are going to be traveling down and from all around because this is the first Big 12 championship game Tech has ever appeared in. It's huge for this team, for this fan base. They are going to be there in droves. I can probably there will be some BYU fans there. I know they'll show up for their team. It's gonna be 10-1 Tech fans, easy.
Yeah.
So,
oh, look at that! Look at it. Who's that bad mouthing you, saying you telling everyone to bet Tech with your money? Yeah, with their money. With their money. Who's that? Who's all day? It's all day disrespecting you.
He's a Texas fan. He's a Texas fan. Get out of here, Longhorn fan. Get out of here. Hey, listen, I'm already bet money on that game. I don't know what you're talking betting 20 on it. I got money on that game. You won't worry about what I got. I got money on that game.
If Kelly says it, it shall be done. I'm going to put money on Tech as well. I trust my man here, so I'm going to be I like putting money on these games, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It makes it fun to watch. So I definitely be putting some money on Tech. You guys, I want you embarrassing them. I want you to put it to where this committee is going to have to pick between Miami, one ranked 10, one ranked 11, and I want to see them screw Miami when the resume is exactly the same, but Miami beat them head-to-head, and see them destroy this whole college football bullshit. So I appreciate it. We'll take care of that business. All right?
All right, man, Cowboys fans.
We'll see you guys. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Let's go, Cowboys!
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.